The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is almost 100 years old, which leads to some frequently asked questions. Is this a place of permanent clash, a place without any hope? Or is this picture distorted? Are people of this part of the world finding ways to respect and cooperate with one another and build a decent life for all? I have been visiting Israel and the West Bank since 1978, and I was able to meet people from both sides of the conflict. Behind the political rhetoric of tension and hate are people trying to build a common ground for themselves and for their children. I want you to meet some of these people. Bumin Bar was born in Israel. He served in the army, fought in 2 wars, and raised his family near Tel Aviv. In 1995, his son Yotam was killed during the war in Lebanon. Bum's grief was enormous, but eventually he decided to do something in the name of his fallen son. Buma is a frequent guest in the West Bank, where he is well respected and where he helps kids from Arab villages organize football teams. He brings Arab children to Israel to meet Israeli kids and to play football in teams that are mixed with Jewish and Arab players. Also, he organizes visits of Israeli children to the West Bank to play football there. Buma invited me to a Bedouin village deep inside the West Bank, but our first stop was in Kibbutz Harel, near Jerusalem.
We had a lot of meetings in Israel here, and then when we planned this, so the children said, okay, we want, but then they said, but we're not sure we will come because the parents are scared from something will happen, something bad will happen.
It's the first time the children come to visit here. I don't talk the visit at Avram Burg, where coming in this. We're talking children. A kid that his mother let him go to the West Bank. It's not simple. Okay, we come here and we make a game between mix, because they meet, the children here met the children from Nan something like 10 times.
But when we came there, it was amazing. We had, it was, you know, we came out from a bulb. It's like, just what is this? We're coming from the grass, from the gate with the nets behind it and everything, and you're coming there and all you see is sand and stones and tents. So it was amazing, and the animals are going over there, and the kids were just hypnotized by the view and everything. And we played there. It was fun. It was different. It was scary because the court have not a fence but a line of stones to line it, and it was scary because when they flew on it, it was really dangerous.
Now we hope to preparing this side about because the rocks is very dangerous for the children. Now we hope to preparing it to make it good, and about you have some stones in the playground. Right. This is very dangerous about the children because any children is drop down is
can injure.
It's very difficult.
after that, in the bus back home, I think it was the amazing thing, because they said, "Okay, Yoni, why are we coming back home, and when is the next time we're going to visit there?" I think it was one of the amazing things I saw here. And the problem is that it's not going all the time. As they told you, they don't have a connection. They have problem of the language.
Do you know if some of the children became friends, and when they see each other, they recognize each other as friends?
From one time and the next time is no, but the third time and the fourth time, I have many of children. He know the name of his friend in real, and if he come the third time, fourth time, he go and shake hand and say, "ما شلونك? How are you? كيف حالك?" and have a good relationship.
But do you feel you have something in common? You know, what
yes.
you like, they
Yes,
like,
yes.
like what?
Me and Allah, we are two captains.
The captains.
We're both captains of the team.
And he's a good player.
Yes.
Who plays better, you or him?
Yes.
Huh?
Him.
He's a better player?
Yes. For all the team. He's very strong of football.
Which team is the best?
انتوا احسن ها؟ They said we are better.
Okay. And if you play against them, how many goals do you think you can score?
إذا لعبتوا ضدهم بدون فريق مختلط كم جول تجيبوا فيهم؟
أقل شيء 100.
لا 10
6 7
7 6 like this.
And how many goals Israelis will score against you?
كم جول راح يحطوا فيكم؟
ولا أحد.
لا مش معقول.
Huh?
He said nothing.
So how does it feel to be playing soccer with the Bedouins?
What's the difference, Bedouins or non-Bedouins? It's just, it's a soccer, it's a football, it's my use. That's what I did when I was a little boy. And I was playing not necessarily on the grass. I was also playing on the asphalt, on the ground, and just like this. When you grow up, what do you want to be?
My football player on Barcelona team.
Okay, and you?
I am a soldier.
And you?
Basketball player.
Basketball player?
لا تخجل قول.
دكتور.
Doctor, and you?
وانت؟
أنا سواق سيارة.
car driving.
Okay, and you?
وانت؟
تصير لعيبي. لاعب كرة قدم.
Player?
Football player?
Football player.
And I remember one day when they are not learned, 2 months in a year, I sit in the roof of one village near Nablus, and with the children, I sit there and go, "What is your dream? What you do in your time now?" We have a dream to visit in the sea, Bahar. In Arab, that's one of the words that I know, Bahar.
Yeah.
Now, come with my car and I take to Tel Aviv to the sea. And I take them this time, I take them, come with me. And it's unbelievable. From this time I start to walk and to make thousands of something like 2,000 children every year for Palestine to come, not political, only enjoy and to be together with Israeli in the sea, in the safari, or in the backwater. Yes.
This is only trying to build the grassroots and trying to get it from bottom up. But it also has to be supported by a top-down strategy, a good feel of hope that there is peace in the region and it's not going forever. This is it.
And they enjoy everything. Everybody asks me, "You think that it changed? These children, it changed his mind. He's not terrorist now." Come on, I don't think about this. I think that this is the first time that these children meet Israeli, not a soldier, real Israeli, real children, real girls with It's unbelievable
Civilians,
because they know
much
until
less,
this visit
Yeah.
only the soldier with the gun, with the all. So they see another thing.
Look, there's all sorts of cooperation at all sorts of levels. Yeah, there's, first of all, there's security cooperation right now in 2010 at an unprecedented degree. If you speak to Israeli security personnel, they'll tell you that there's been no period in the past where Israeli and Palestinian security forces were working as closely together as they are now. There are all kinds of relationships in the field of health. You're right. Even between Israel and Gaza, of course, is run by Hamas, which Israel does not formally deal with and which is avowedly committed to destroying Israel. There are still arrangements that enable Gazans who need medical treatment that is only available in Israel to cross and get such treatment in Israel.
Danny Hakim was born in Australia. In his teens, Danny studied karate, excelled at it, and relocated to Japan to learn more about martial arts and its movement Budo, which means pathway to understanding.
You got to imagine, I came here 10 years ago, people thought I was nuts. People thought, here's this foreigner again with the great ideas of making peace in the world, okay? And this took me some time to try and create the model where Jewish and Arab kids could get together using Budo, martial arts.
I think it is a genius idea, and it's really an amazing opportunity to bring children together, to create this kind of feeling of coexistence, and this is the philosophy behind it. And that's why I'm here today. I came with my wife to support this act. Danny and Paul are very close friends to mine, and I really come with full support and heart to create such an idea of coexistence.
The first session that I went to at Budo for Peace, the first meeting they had, which was on the roof of the Dizengoff Center, shopping mall in Tel Aviv. There's a gym on the top floor. And just the sight of the Palestinian kids and the Israeli kids, including my son, their coaches gave them the first sort of instruction to do the first kata, the first series of moves. And watching these kids who'd never met, realizing that they were doing exactly the same thing, that they were doing a kind of choreographed little dance together, it was a joy. And it was a joy to see them realize that, oh, wait a minute, these kids have been learning exactly what we've been learning, and they're doing exactly what we've been doing. And that, I think, that kind of experience is incredibly productive at all kinds of subconscious levels in a way that sort of sitting down and talking politics is not.
One day, Danny asked me to join him on a trip to an Arab village of Esavia in East Jerusalem. When we finally approached the club, I saw a poster on the wall of a suicide bomber who in 1994 killed himself while taking the lives of innocent people. Inside, Danny conducted a karate clinic to a group of about 30 youngsters who never had any real interactions with Israeli children, except for one occasion.
2006, I brought a team of Budo for Peace to the World Shotokan Karate Games in Tokyo. It took a long time to raise the money. We brought 20 members, 6 of them were Palestinian, and they had to do 3 things apart from compete. They had a welcome dinner, which they all went to, and the 2 other important things was to march on in the opening ceremony at the Olympic Stadium under the banner of Budo for Peace. Not the flag of Israel, not the flag of Palestine, Budo for Peace. What happened was 3 out of the 6 Palestinian kids, we're talking about 14, 15-year-old kids, decided not to march on. And I was furious, you can imagine.
יש סטודנטים שלא רצו להיכנס עם הקבוצה, אני לא יכול להגיד להם להיכנס, הם לא רצו להיכנס, יש תלמידים שנכנסו. אמרו יראו אותנו בכפר, יגידו לזה הולכים מתחת לדגל ישראלי. ההפך, אנחנו נכנסנו מתחת לדגל בודו פור פיס. אין בזה לא דגל ישראלי, אין בזה דגל פלסטיני. וזה משהו קרה, שהם פחדו, יהיו בכפר, אמרו להם, אתם נכנסתם ככה וככה, זה היה פחד מהכפר.
So I went to the kids and I said, I want you to know that if you don't participate, one, we are stopping Buddha for peace in your town and with the Palestinians, and two, you're on your own, and three, you are thieves. You have taken the money to come on this trip, 2.5 weeks in Japan, and you don't want to cooperate. And I looked at them and I realized that it struck a chord, but I really felt it. I was so upset. And then they agreed to participate. We did this demonstration. It was amazing. 10,000 people, standing ovation in an Olympic stadium. But I felt as if a dagger went into my back. We're going to go north, where we're going to meet the instructor named Ali Khalil, who's been a Buddha for Peace instructor the last 5 years. And just over a year ago, he opened a club in Mitzpeh Netofa, which is an Israeli Jewish Orthodox school. And that's quite interesting. The reason why, we needed a twin with the Arab club. We had quite a few Arab clubs. We needed to balance it with Jewish clubs because our policy is 50-50. And I gave Ali Khalil the challenge of opening up a Jewish club, and he was keen, as a martial artist, always looking for a challenge. And we actually found a religious Jewish club. In the beginning, he was a bit concerned. Would they accept him? Would it work?
There's a lot of misjudgments, yes, unfortunately, unbased. And I can say that because since we came here and Buddha for Peace started the program here, and the teacher who came, who is teaching here, karate, is from the village next by the name of Ali Khalil, and he's an amazing teacher. And he not only is an amazing person who does karate, but he's also an amazing person and an amazing teacher. And I think he broke many of the images that people here had about Arabs. First, when they heard that it's an Arab teacher, some people were really afraid and thinking about pulling their kids out of the program. But the minute they saw him and they saw his dedication and how serious he is about karate and about really doing peace, actively doing peace, and that, I think, broke many barriers.
When I entered in the Mushav, I was very afraid. I don't know what they will accept me. Yes, no, because I am Arabic man. When I began to training there, it was difficult. They was afraid of the Arab people. They will throw a stone to him. بعرف زي هيك الشيء موعد.
At first, I thought karate was for boys and it was boring. But once I started, I really got the hang of it and I started to like it. But I was with my mom, since my mom teaches English. Then I was with her and I met this girl. She loves from karate. And I met her, we started playing together. And that's how we became friends.
But what happened was, we planned to do this event where the Jewish kids would walk through the forest. We called it the forest walk, or the forest crossing it was called. It was only a 10-minute walk from the Jewish village to the Arab village. And we'd planned for the Arab students and parents to prepare a kosher meal, and they would have a training and activities and ice-breaking games. This was nearly 2 years ago. And then what happened? The day before, the Gaza war broke out. And I had to decide to still do it or not. Then a year and a half later, we decided, okay, the Jewish kids wanted it, the Arab kids wanted it. We decided to do this forest crossing. And 2 days before this event, of course, something happens, was the Turkish flotilla event. And I thought, uh-oh, I have to cancel again. And I spoke to one of the Jewish parents, and he said, no, we want to do it. And I was quite surprised. And then I spoke to the Arab instructor, and he said, no, they want to do it. And who am I to say, no, we should cancel? So we let the event happen, and it was wonderful. The Jewish kids walked through the forest and were greeted by the Arab students, and then we had this event with a kosher meal, and it was really lovely and inspiring for me.
All of a sudden, we weren't people with horns on our head. We weren't standing there with machine guns trying to shoot their kids down. Not at all. The opposite was true. And again, they become the best ambassadors for the State of Israel, because they go back and they talk and they say, you're wrong in your conception. What's being portrayed in the press is simply one-sided and selective. It's not the true picture.
So the image of fights within Israel between different populations is, I think, a little bit distorted. But it is a place that demands a lot of the person. You cannot rest here, sit down and rest quietly. You have to all the time struggle uphill. But it's worth it.
Are you worried about your neighbors?
In what sense?
Terrorism?
No, not from here, not for sure, not since we met Ali, and through him we met other people from his family. We've been there, they've been to our place. No. There are always, here and there are always minority, people, but not on a whole, not as a general rule.
I am 33 years old. I was born in a small village called Ben Shemen, which is on the way from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. I was born disabled with a disability on two of both my legs and my left arm. We have here of all different backgrounds, all different religions, all different social backgrounds. We don't really know because we don't ask and we don't care. But I can tell you that we have from ultra-Orthodox Jews to Arabs to Muslim Arabs or Christian Arabs. We have everything here.
То, что они находятся здесь, они чувствуют себя свободно, они здесь у себя дома. Они не должны никому ничего объяснять, потому что вокруг такие же люди, такие же дети, у которых есть какие-то определенные проблемы. Вот. И это дает им внутреннюю свободу и свободу самопроявления и в тех же тренировках. Они раскрепощены и тренируются очень сильно. Чего, может быть, им тяжело было бы делать в других местах, где на них бы все равно смотрели где-то искоса и шепотом говорили бы, и те же дети бы спрашивали у родителей, почему у того же мальчика одна нога.
I was born with one leg shorter than the other. I'm missing a thigh on my left leg. So basically everything else moved up.
Terrorist entered my house. He killed my mother and 3 brothers. I lost my right leg. I got 3 bullets straight to my leg and 2 grenades next to me. And in the hospital, they got out for me 200 pieces from the grenade. When I was in the hospital, the manager came to me, told me, come to our center, see what we have to offer, and start swimming. And I said, okay. I came here, I started to swim, and I love it. So I started to swim a lot.
At first, he don't came close to me so much. I don't know if because I'm Arab or something, but then we start swimming together and go to competition together and be together every time and swim together and go to the gym together. So we started talking and asking each other some things, and then I learned about him and he learned about me. then we start to be friends. And
I can tell you that I have here many Arabs, and they are consult with me, I consult with them, and I'm learning from them very much about their culture, about their different attitudes toward women, toward the children, toward disabilities, and I can see very similarity like in the Jewish society. And I think conflicts are here, but we have to work it out and to see the person without his religious background, because it's not only the important thing to see.
I was going at the airport, and then they do a passport check and a gun check and knives check and all this, a steel check if I have steels on me. And then I have a prosthetic leg, and it beeps. And then they tell me, oh, you are Muhammad, your name is Muhammad, what you doing? And they thought that I'm a terrorist. And they stood me outside and started asking me questions and all this, until Slava came and told him, no, he is in a group, he is a swimmer. All the time they thought that I'm a terrorist or something like this because I beeped with my leg.
Muhammad is a very nice guy, and I think he wasn't right because actually we was there for a swimming competition, and I don't think there is a reason that the name Muhammad Abu Ramadan or Asel Shabo, there is a difference between them. Maybe when he was bigger and a big guy in 20 or 30 years of his life, maybe it was a good reason to stop him, but he's a kid, he's a very nice kid, he's funny, and we didn't feel so much sorry for him. Actually, we came, we told him we said it's stupid.
I don't understand it, so why they can see, oh, maybe not all Arabs are terrorists. No, because in Israel we also try to live our life. No, we don't try to harm anybody or something.
It's good to know people in sports.
זה מחבר אנשים, אתה מכיר אנשים מהקצה השני של המצב לקצה שאתה נוכח בו. כאילו אתה מתחבר עם אנשים, כל אחד עם הבעיה שלו.
If you see Arabs in TV and you think that there is a problem, but when you see them in sports, in clubs, it will be harmony. You will see that they are good, and they will see that Jews is good people, not bad people. I think it's good.
Next year I'm going to the army, and when I finish army, I probably I want to go to medical school, and now I'm coaching here at the center.
I'm a drummer too. On the drummer kit, I'm drummer. I play at bands, and we have shows sometime, something like this. And I love to cook too and eat and go out with friends, something like this.
I'm thinking about something something that has to do with people skills, like psychology or human relations, anything in that field.
יישר כוח.
כל הכבוד.
סוף סוף ערד.
סוף סוף אתה רגיל לזה?
אין לי ערד באוסף, אני אחליף את הצבע הזה.
כל הכבוד.
I am not naive about the future of this region. As I was getting ready to go back to New York City, a terrorist attack took place in Jerusalem. One woman was killed and more than 20 people were injured. Sadly, I have to believe that this cycle of terror attack and retaliation will not disappear overnight. But this is also my belief. It will happen less often, and perhaps someday not at all. If people are encouraged to fight their battles in the gyms, on the football fields, on the tennis courts, and in the swimming pools.
Do you believe that there will be peace someday?
Not sure.
I want, but I'm not.
Yes, I want, but yes, I'm not so sure about that.
Why?
Because not everybody wants peace. Some Arabic, some Jewish don't get along. I'm not getting along with every Arab, but with her, yeah. And she, like, you do.
Yeah, I like her.
I'm not thinking about this side or this side because kind of the both sides kind of angry me because they fight about this land and don't prefer to live in peace together here. So
we're fighting against the terror in Palestine. It's not that we want to harm those people, we just want to harm the people that harm our people. So the people that caught in the middle have nothing to do with it. I don't have anything against them, they're people just like us.
ההורים רוצים שלום, הילדים רוצים שלום, אנחנו רוצים שלום. אנחנו רוצים להכיר הרבה חברים יהודים, ואני בטוח שהם גם כן. אצל העם זה קיים וזה נמצא, הבעיה זה לא שלנו, הבעיה של המנהיגים, אבל העם פשוט אנחנו כולנו אוהבים זה את זה.
And you believe there will be peace and harmony?
Oh, yes.
What it will take to achieve it?
Patience. Lots of patience. There are no shortcuts. Nothing good comes easy.